Yo, what is going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week number 5 of the ICBA. We are taking on Ultra player Josh Rose, as his in-game name says, coach of the West Virginia Miniors. I almost said the New York Metagross. But he did rebrand to the West Virginia Miniors. We have a chance to knock off an undefeated team this week. We are sitting here 3-1. He is 4-0, so it'd be great to knock him off. Team we got this week, we got Drapion, Skarmory, Tangrowth, Mega Diancie, Naganadel, Miltank, and then on his side he has the Hail Core that I love. He has that Slowbro, Mega Heracross, Tyrantrum, and the Battle Bond Greninja. So we're going to hop right into this battle, and right off the top of my head, my thought process is get Toxic Spikes up. That is my first thing I wanted to do, was get the Toxic Spikes up, because he brought no removal. So unless his Sandslash is Rapid Spin, he brought no removal, so I can get Toxic Spikes up. So he's going to go for the Surf. I'm just going to stay in and take the Surf. I have no reason not to take the Surf. I just want to get Toxic Spikes up on his side of the field, so that now I can start getting chip damage on that Slowbro and wearing it down more and more. Same thing with the Alolan Ninetales, Tyrantrum. So I'm just going to swap out my Drapion here, and I'm going to go right out into Tangrowth, as he's going to predict that, go for the Ice Beam, and it's going to do an okay amount. We're Assault Vested Tangrowth, so it's going to do about 35%. Here I make the mistake, I do not actually scout for the ICMZ, and it was something that I should have ended up doing. Scouting the ICMZ, going out into something like Diancie potentially would have been beneficial to me. That way I would have kept my Tangrowth and it would have been back at full health, but I just made the mistake of not actually going for the safe play, predicting him to go for it, and it ended up costing me my Tangrowth. And now he gets the Ash Greninja, which can be a giant threat with its speed and its too high attack stats, leaving me pretty much unsure of what to do. But I do have the Miltank, which is specially defensive. It can take hits, and we can also paralyze this Ash Greninja, which is good for my Mega Diancie if he's not carrying the Water Shuriken. You see here, that's going to do less than 50%. We're going to get Leftovers Recovery, and that Frog is now paralyzed. Frog is now slowed down. Naganadel can go in and knock it out with a Dragonium Z. Here, I am just going to Milk Drink, as he's going to predict that, and he's going to go out into his Mega Heracross. I have a Skarmory. I'm not worried about Mega Heracross to an extent. And now he is poisoned, so now he is going to be taking residual damage every turn, which is going to benefit me in the long run. Is it allows my setup sweeper and Mega Diancie to set up a Rock Polish, clean up the game. I also have Naganadel that loves to have weakened Pokemon. So we're going to withdraw Miltank here. We're going to go back out into my Skarmory, as I know I can take close combats from this thing and make sure that I pretty much just wear down his Mega Heracross. Because a combination of toxic racking up, and then once I get the rest of my hazard set up, it's not going to be able to start switching in for long, because it's going to take Stealth Rocks. I want to get Spikes up, and the residual damage from the Toxic Spikes. Now we're going to just put that Heracross into a range where it's not a very threatening Pokemon anymore. So he's going to withdraw the Mega Heracross. He's going to go back out into his Greninja. And unfortunately for me, the Greninja is, well, actually fortunate for me, the Greninja is paralyzed, not getting the Toxic Spikes damage, as we're going to roost up. And now my switch-ins to Greninja are just reliant on the Cow. So I was really worried he possibly might have Low Kick. But he's going to get paralyzed here. With him getting paralyzed, these are what you call free rocks, my friend. You get free as day Stealth Rocks, as he's going to go into Erob, which is his Slowbro. His Slowbro now gets the Toxic Spikes, which I like. means the Slowbro every turn is going to be getting toxic damage. I get Stealth Rock, so now Greninja. Alolan Ninetales is taking 25%. Greninja's taking Chip plus Toxic, or no Toxic Spikes. Tyrantrum's taking Chip plus Toxic Spikes. Heracross is taking 12% plus Toxic Spikes. So now I'm just allowed to go back out into my Drapion. Pretty much as just fodder at this point. If he didn't get the burn, great. We're going to recover some health from Blasted Sludge. Here I thought about getting a second layer of Toxic Spikes up so that I could possibly really wear down Tyrantrum, Alolan Ninetales, and such. But I felt, you know what, let's weaken the Slowbro with the knockoff. At this point, Drapion serves no purpose. We get rid of the recovery, so now the Slowbro really starts getting put on a timer with its HP low. And this allows me to go into Mega Diancie, and I can click a free Moonblast. He brought no Steel type other than Alolan Sandslash. He doesn't really want to switch Alolan Sandslash into any type of special attack. So here comes Mega Diancie. I could have stayed in and clicked Rock Polish, but I mean, there's no reason for me to actually risk my Mega Diancie at this point. So we are just going to click a free Moonblast, pick up a KO, and go back down 5-4. And I figure if he goes Greninja, he has the Water Shuriken at this point. And I do have the Protect to scout, see if he is actually carrying that Water Shuriken. Now, if I ever get this matchup, I will need the Greninja to get paralyzed for my Diancie to pick up a KO. And he's going to show off the Water Shuriken here. So I know that Mega Diancie versus Greninja is not going to end up well for my Diancie. So I do go back out into my Miltank. With Miltank now coming in, I can get a free Seismic Toss on anything that wants to come in. Sandslash, Greninja, Alolan Ninetales, Tyrantrum, doesn't matter what it is, I get a free Seismic Toss. I'm getting free damage, plus Stealth Rocks, plus Toxic Spike damage. So we're just going to Seismic Toss the Greninja here. He's going to get paralyzed, and now we're in a very good spot. I take any hit from the Greninja, and whatever he switches in, I'm dealing 50 damage to. So he's going to go out to Omega the Heracross, which is now going to take Stealth Rock. It's going to have its turn of Poison, plus it's going to take 50 damage from the Seismic Toss. All of which is just fantastic for me. And now the Heracross just starts to get weakened. I can go out to my Skarmory, and I can get up a layer of Spikes now. So with the layer of Spikes, I can make sure that more of his Pokemon are starting to take chip damage. Stuff like Alolan Sandslash, stuff like Tyrantrum, they're now taking 12-20% just on entry hazards. And this is just phenomenal because the strategy is pretty much going into place. Hazard stack my opponent. His removal wasn't great. Kartana and one other Pokemon. Alolan Sandslash were his removal. So here, I'm just going to Roost up. He does outspeed my Skarmory. So the Roost here is actually a great play. That way I can actually keep my Skarmory somewhat healthy in case I do need to take on the Alolan Ninetales. As we get just a little bit above half, leftovers is going to put us about 60%, 65%. And the Heracross will actually end up falling to the Toxic Spikes, which is now really showing my plan. The Toxic Spikes are coming in. He has no removal. In comes the Alolan Ninetales. So here, I could have just gone into the cow. And I really should have, because Skarmory deals with his Alolan Sandslash. I can Roost up onto it. But instead, I make the mistake. I stay in because I wanted to get Spikes up. And I had multiple different opportunities I could have gotten Spikes up. But I made the mistake there of staying in to get the Spikes. I think I valued the Spikes more than I valued being able to switch into my Miltank, have him wear down by Poison, and pretty much just tank the Blizzard. Because here I can click Seismic Toss. I have no reason to not click Seismic Toss on anything. And I know he's going to get the Aurora Veil up. So we're just going to Seismic Toss the Alolan Ninetales here. It's going to take a chunk of damage. It's going to take the Poison. And now here is where we're going to see the Aurora Veil, right when his Alolan Ninetales gets weakened, as it's a good play. He knows his Alolan Ninetales is going down, so here is where you have to get that Aurora Veil up. I'm just going to Milk Drink, which one actually is great because I burn a turn of Aurora Veil, and it now forces his Ninetales to actually take the toxic damage, and I did not think about the Aurora Veil much. And you're going to see here later here in the battle, I completely forget about the Aurora Veil. But I should have just Milk Drink this turn, because that would have been a second turn of Aurora Veil wasted instead of clicking Seismic Toss. So that one, he still has to take the Stealth Rock damage. I would be full health. And it depends on if he would have lived the toxic damage. If he lived the toxic damage, then Milk Drink would have actually been the best play. If he didn't, then you know what, the turns even out. He's going to go into his Tyrantrum. I know this thing's going to Dragon Dance. I have nothing to really switch into it. I got rid of Skarmory. Even then, Skarmory at the range it was at didn't really take on this Tyrantrum. He's going to Dragon Dance, as we are just going to go for the Seismic Toss here. It's pretty much my only play I could do is Seismic Toss, get 50 damage, have him take the toxic damage. As the Hail unfortunately stops. The Hail would have actually helped me get a little bit more chip on the Tyrantrum to include all the toxic damage. But it is what it is at this point. And he's just going to go for that Head Smash. It is not going to miss. He is going to connect and knock me out. So here is where I have to decide. I have Diancie and Naganadel. And one, neither outspeed. My mistake was I should have gone to Diancie, and I should have clicked Protect. Why is that important? Because one, it stalls out a Aurora Veil turn. Again, I wasn't thinking Aurora Veil at this time. I sacked off my Naganadel, but I could have gone to Diancie, I clicked Protect, and then I could sack off my Naganadel again. Or I can keep my Naganadel alive. The issue was the Alolan Sandslash in the back. I really cannot touch it with my Naganadel. But now, here I just have to click Protect. If I would have clicked Protect and maybe click Double Protect to get the Double Protect off, and then I have the Naganadel and the Mega Diancie, and then the Aurora Veil disappears, I'm in a fantastic spot, because here, Tyrantrum's going to fall Toxic Spikes. Drapion did its job, got the Toxic Spikes up. Now, here comes the Ash Greninja, and at this point, I just have to click Moonblast and hope he gets paralyzed. And that is actually the case. So unfortunately the Parahax does come in and will cost his Greninja a kill. And where I royally mess up was misusing the Protect. So here comes the Alolan Sandslash. I didn't know how many turns were left on Aurora Veil, and I should have checked, because if I click Protect here instead of Earth Power, Aurora Veil does actually run out, and the Alolan Sandslash dies. Instead, he's going to tank that Alolan Sandslash and knock me out with Iron Head, and that will result in a 1-0 win. So, just a lack of awareness by me this week cost me the game there. Well, the paralysis did help me there against the Ash Greninja, but I can't complain. It was just a misread on my part, not knowing how healthy, or not how healthy, how many turns of Aurora Veil were up. I knew he was going to be Light Clay. But you know what? 3-2. We'll try to bounce back, finish the season off strong, try to go 8-2, end the season off great, head into the playoffs with a lot of momentum. If you guys enjoyed this, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, like the video, go over to Ultra Player's channel, subscribe over to there, as well as all the other ICBA coaches. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.